Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the female solution.
Welcome. I'm Chinta Strausberg, producer of and host of On the Case. And, we have two very special people today, very, very special, and a very important topic because, as you know, Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Savannah Guthrie, the NBC Today uh, co host, has been missing for more than 100 days. But guess what? Mr. Oliver Beckett, who is 84, just like Nancy Guthrie, he's also 84 years old. He's been missing for almost 3 years, allegedly taken by a social worker at a South Holland nursing home. And the woman had the nerve, her name was Brenda Bell, she had the nerve to call his daughter and ask and demand $4,900 to take care of her father. She took him without permission of the family. Well, I have two guests on the line. Pam Childs is a retired detective with the Police Department, and also Pablo Foster. He is a very good detective. Welcome to On the Case, both of you. Oh, I don't hear. Okay, I don't hear Pam. Okay, so
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Welcome
Thank
to
you for having me on your show.
And what about Pablo? Pablo Foster, are you there? All right, we're working on that. So this is a very strange case. I mean, who ever heard of someone kidnapping a father or kidnapping the mother of Nancy Guthrie? And what's going on here? And why has it taken so long to catch Brenda Bell? Pam,
Well, yes, I can comment on that. Oliver Beckett was taken in 2023, in December of 2023, from the Prairie Oasis Nursing Home, where he had been diagnosed with dementia, and he was transferred there from the I have it right here. He was transferred there from a hospital in Crown Point, Indiana. And they thought that 20 days of memory care would help him. And his daughter, they did get in touch with his daughter, and his daughter knew exactly where he was, and she visited him there. And there was a social worker working there at the time. Her name is Brenda Bell, and this is well known. It's in all of the records that this woman was working there, and Mr. Beckett, when he was admitted into the nursing home, she had contact with him. Now, and to give a little background on Mr. Beckett is retired from Cook County. He worked in the radiology department at Providence Hospital, and he retired from there. He lived in a condominium in Calumet City, and he had no financial debt. He lived a good life, but when dementia hits, just like and my father developed dementia as well, so I do have a little knowledge about the disease. And Mr. Beckett was in denial, just as my father was. So whatever relationship that this woman, Miss Bell, built with Mr. Beckett, she convinced him that she could take him to some place other than being in a nursing home. I think she kind of embedded some kind of way in his mind that the nursing home was bad and that his daughter was bad for putting him there. But his daughter, whose name is Eunice Backett, did not put Mr. Backett there. The hospital in Crown Point, Indiana, they diagnosed him. They had him there as a patient, and they sent him to this place for
Well,
20 days.
is that
20
legal? Is that legal, Pam?
Well, I'm not necessarily, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not necessarily sure if that is a legal practice that this hospital did, but I guess eventually when they contacted Eunice, this is the information that they gave her,
And he was
that
supposed to stay for
they
23
referred
days.
him to the hospital for
Mhm.
20 days memory care.
Okay.
And so the first 20 days that he was there at the hospital, um, Eunice was advised that she would have to take him, she would have to find, if she couldn't, I guess if she couldn't take care of him on her own in her home, she would have to find a long-term care facility or some type of living conditions for him where he would have medical care or medical people around him. And so she did go on the search to do that. And so after the 20 days were expired, Eunice actually picked her father up and she took her father home.
Mhm.
And once she got him home, he had one of the he had a memory block where he didn't know who she was. And um he became panicked, and she got frightened and she began to cry. And then he kind of came back to himself and he asked her why she was crying. And so once they solved all of that, she called the nursing home administrators to say, well, this just happened. Dad didn't know me. Dad became panicked. And what do I do? So the suggestion was for her to bring him back to the nursing home for an additional 20 days of memory care. And she followed those directions under the guide of the nursing home administrators or whatever doctor that was in charge of Mr. Backett. And so it was during that time span that Mr. Backett was there. I guess this woman, Brenda Bell, got closer to Mr. Backett. And she, of course, they have like all of your information. Anytime you go into a nursing home facility, they get all of your information. They know everything about you. So this lady, Brenda Bell, that was working there, convinced Mr. Backett that she could take care of him. And she actually sent the daughter an email. She sent the daughter an email. No, a text message, I'm sorry, on August 15th of 2024. Now, this is after she has taken Mr. Backett. Mr. Backett was taken in December of 2023.
Right.
And when he was taken in December of 2023, of course, Eunice went through all of the necessary steps to make a police report, and she filed a police report with the South Holland Police Department because her father was missing from the nursing home. Eunice Backett contacted the Illinois Department of Public Health. They went out and they did an investigation regarding Mr. Backett being reported missing from the nursing home, and there's some foul play involved. And so the Illinois Department of Human Services went out there, they viewed the video, and they observed this woman walking Mr. Backett out of this facility to a waiting vehicle. Now, this was at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning when this lady showed up, which was not her normal working hours. Because the people that were on staff at the desk, at the reception desk, were the people that were working the night crew, and Brenda Bell typically worked during the daytime. So she had an ID card on her, and I guess they didn't ask her any questions about what you're doing or where's this man going, because she had an ID to be at that facility. So she walks out with Mr. Backett. She had another female Black with her who posed as, she claimed that this lady that was there with at the desk claimed that her name was Mary Backett. And she was his daughter. Well, Mr. Backett only has one daughter, and his daughter is named Eunice Backett, Unice Backett. That is his daughter's name.
So she had an accomplice.
Yes, there was a second person with Miss Bell. And this woman who posed as Mary Backett left in that waiting vehicle with Mr. Backett. Now, Brenda Bell goes back into this nursing home facility. She stays there until about, maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock, and she leaves. Now, this is her place of employment. She never returned to this place of employment to this day that you and I are speaking, and we're speaking to the public right now. So that's when Mr. Backett had a cell phone, and he called a neighbor of his to say that, hey, I'm in a van and I'm being taken somewhere. I don't know where I am. And so this particular neighbor contacted Eunice and said, hey, I just got a call from your dad. Do you know where your dad is? And she told Eunice exactly what Oliver told her. Hey, I'm in a van. There's a guy driving, and I don't know him. I don't know where he's taking me. I mean, and we are dealing with a patient that has been diagnosed with dementia. Mr. Backett was 81 years old at this time. And so Eunice immediately went to the nursing home facility. She talked to people there. She called the police. She got a police report, and she got a police report because her father was not where she knew her father was supposed to be. And since that day, back in 2023, Eunice Backett has not laid eyes on her father.
How is she doing now, the daughter?
Eunice does have some health issues. She is a cancer patient. She survived leukemia for many, many years. But the stress of everything is taking a toll on her. And she's in the process of trying to de-stress and heal, which is why I'm here to speak on her behalf, because she thought that this would be too stressful for her. Eunice has one son, and he has health issues that are very serious health issues. And she's concerned about him as well as herself, as well as where is her father.
Absolutely.
So, it's a lot to deal with. This is an unbelievable situation, and I've been working with her since I learned about the situation. I was referred to Eunice to contact me because a common friend that we didn't know we had, he knew me, and he said, hey, you need to contact this detective that works for Chicago. She's done a lot of things with missing persons cases. She might be able to help you. And that I believe that Mr. Backett was taken in December. I believe that my first contact with Eunice was in maybe late February, early March of 2024. And I have been working with her on locating her father since the first day that I spoke to her.
All right.
And um,
Did Foster, Pablo, are you there? Pablo's still not.
Hi, Cynthia. Yes. Hey, Pam. How are you guys? I'm here.
hey, it's glad that
Okay.
we're happy you were able to join us.
So Pablo, Pablo Foster is a excellent detective. What do you think about this case, and how did you get involved?
Well, I got involved along with Pam. She and I have worked on different cases along the years together. And she brought this to my attention. I was able to look over a lot of the documents and knew that this was a terrible situation that Mr. Beckett had found himself in. And Pam has been working very diligent and to bring a resolution to this issue. And she's still currently working hard, and we're both working hard together. We need to bring Mr. Beckett home to his daughter. And that's what we're attempting. That's where we're leaning on the public to assist us in any which way that they can.
But now both of you found Mr. Beckett at some motel. Can you tell me about that?
We actually didn't find him at a motel.
Okay.
What happened is that one of the local police departments went out under the supervisory position of South Holland Police Department. Mm-hmm. And that law enforcement agency ran into Mr. Beckett from a door knock at the Extended Stay Hotel. Once they asked to see Mr. Beckett along with his accomplice that he was with, which was Brenda Bell, allegedly she produced a document that said that that Mr. Beckett and her were married. And that information went back to South Holland Police Department, and that's when this whole shell incident has taken a turn for the worse. We have looked at a lot of public sites as well as went into a lot of these Cook County, and we show no marriage records for Mr. Beckett and Mrs. Bell together. We do know that Brenda Bell was able to retain a Illinois driver's license with Mr. Beckett's last name to show that they both are related. And we're still trying to determine, in fact, what information did she produce to the Secretary of State for that to happen.
Wow, that's amazing. Now she was 62 years old then, right?
She was.
And he was 81.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. And so let me just clear up one thing. The lady that took Mr. Beckett was an employee at this nursing home. And Eunice had tried on a number of occasions to speak with the administrators at the Prairie Oasis nursing home, and they refused to take her phone calls. They refused to have a meeting with her to discuss this situation because they knew that they were at fault. And when the Illinois Department of Human Services went out and they did their investigation, they did cite them for violations of the patient-employee relationship that should have never taken place. Mm-hmm. And so Eunice has no information on what the punishment was for this nursing home or if they were admonished in any kind of way. She has no information on anything because she was never able to have a sit-down conversation with this nursing home staff and administration. Now, the other thing that kind of threw Eunice Beckett for a loop was the South Holland Police Department.
Hold that thought. We got to take a break.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll be back with more of On the Case right after this.
We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, Palestine, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Join us live on the on-air radio network called 727-731-5192. We want to talk to you.
Literacy is freedom, and we have a literacy crisis. Children should learn to read from pre-K to 3rd grade. They should practice reading from 4th to 6th grade, and they should read to learn beginning in 7th grade and continuing through 4th grade. This video is sponsored by Rico Nance and Chemistry Steak and Brunch House in Hyde Park, Chicago.
Okay, we're back. I'm Chinta Strausberg, producer and host of On the Case, and my guests are Pamela Childs, retired detective with the Chicago Police Department, and Pablo Foster, one heck of a detective. And they are on the hunt. They've been on the hunt and the search for Mr. Oliver Backett, and he was 81 at the time when he was taken by a social worker at the what was the name of the nursing home? It was in South Holland.
Prairie Oasis.
Prairie Oasis.
Yes, and Brenda Bell took him without permission. So where do we go from now? What's next?
Well, we've done a lot. Eunice filed the police report with the South Holland Police Department, as Foster was explaining, that the police report was filed and the detective that was assigned to the case made contact with Miss Bell and discovered that she was at the extended stay motel in Burbank. And so that detective had the Burbank Police Department go over to that motel where they made contact with Brenda Bell, and she had with her Mr. Backett. But what she did was she showed the Burbank Police Department some paper that stated that it was a marriage certificate. And she stated that we are married. And they accepted that. They didn't, I mean, we have no knowledge if they took a photo of the document, if they, examined the document for authenticity. We have no information on that at all. All we have is that this document was presented. They spoke to Mr. Backett, and Mr. Backett said, they asked him if he was okay, and Mr. Backett said, I'm okay. Now, with my experience, my extended experience with dementia and Alzheimer's, which my father passed away with, and my best friend's mother that I've cared for has, you can ask a dementia patient all day, are you okay? Do you need anything? And they will say, yeah, I'm okay. Oh, I'm okay. That is just what they know to say. But this was acceptable for this detective. And when he contacted Eunice, and he told Eunice that, well, your father is married to Brenda Bell, and he says that he's okay, so this case is closed. With no proof. He never once had this lady, Brenda Bell, come into his office to sit with him, or Mr. Backett sit in his presence.
So how do you feel about Miss Bell, Brenda Bell, asking his daughter to pay her $4,900 to take care of her own father?
I believe that I don't know Miss Bell, but I believe that this is a scam on the elderly, and this can happen again. I feel like this is not her first time. She's experienced. For her to have done something so drastic, she took a whole man away from his family. She took a father, she took a grandfather, and none of the family members have been able to speak with Oliver Backett or see Oliver Backett since 2023. And this is devastating to Eunice. Eunice has one brother. He lives in California.
Yes.
We've been in contact with her brother, and her brother is a distance away from us, but he is supportive for what we're doing to try to locate his father and his sister's father. It's just such an unbelievable situation. This situation is like unheard of, and I've never heard of anybody doing or having the gall to do something like this. And so that only tells me, as from my experience as being in law enforcement, that this is something that was well planned. It was well searched. Mr. Backett's history, Mr. Backett's financial situation was well searched out. She knew that she had come across a man who had some substance.
He also had money.
Yes, Mr. Backett had, he didn't have a lot of money, but he had his savings. He wasn't a big spender. He had no credit card debt. His car was paid for. His condo was paid for. And she took advantage of that. And
how does she take advantage of that with the condo?
Well, she, at one point, once she left the extended stay motel, she went back to his condo. She contacted this detective to inform Eunice Backett that she is not to come to that condo because they are afraid of her. And she wants to do harm to him. She wants to do harm to her, which was totally untrue. This young lady just wanted her father. And she wanted the police department to help her, which they failed to do that. They failed to help her. They failed to dig deeper into this situation. And just to quote what Eunice Backett told me, this detective said to her, "Why don't you just let him be? He's with somebody that's taking care of him." And she said, "But that's my dad. That's my dad."
Wasn't he out of line for saying that?
Absolutely. Absolutely he was. And so She got no help from South Holland, and I believe what happened in the transition of this detective speaking with this woman who has this man that she basically kidnapped out of the nursing home. This is a kidnapping. And he's like, he's more behind her than he was on the side of the family that wants some answers as to why does this lady have my dad? Why was my dad ever taken from the nursing home? Did you look into that? Did you ask her any questions? Eunice Backett asked her, can I come to your office and show you the documentation that I have? I have his medical records from the hospital in Crown Point. I have his diagnosis. I have this. I have the text message that Brenda Bell sent to her on August 15th, 2024. And if you will allow me, I will read that message to you.
Sure.
It says, "Hi, you. I'm able to offer you 24-hour dementia care as a qualified professional at a cost of $800 a week. That will include meals cooked to his preference, laundry, personal care, doctor's appointments, medical management, housekeeping, etc. The apartment is $1,700 a month. Newly remodeled, safe, clean, great living area. So think about it and let me know tomorrow." Then it goes on to say, "I have 2 male caregivers and 2 female nurses who are on my call support team. I spoke with your father before I left yesterday, and he said he is willing to go to a different place. Just doesn't want to be in a nursing home, and he needs 2 bathrooms nearby. Said he understands that his place is not the place for him now, but knowing what is going on and waiting is hard. He also said he doesn't think anything is wrong with him, and he didn't know why he ever had to go to the hospital or nursing home. It's other people who he is sick. He will cooperate and will accept a 24-hour caregiver, but would like some space for privacy. He also said it's too noisy and he can't concentrate. Sometimes also the TV doesn't work too good, and it's only 1 TV for 2 people. So I asked the housekeeper to check his TV. Please please keep our conversations private. I don't want anyone to know I am offering my help, and it's okay if you decide not to accept my offer." That is the text message that this Brenda Bell sent to Eunice Backett.
That's pretty bold. Pablo Foster, why haven't you reached out to the FBI?
Well, that's a good thing that you bring that up, Cynthia. Unfortunately, we did reach out to the FBI. What happens with this chain of command, the way these agencies work, is that they go to the original agency who has the case, and it's evident that the detective who was handling this case out of South Holland has told the FBI, this is the position that Mr. Backett in, we're the lead agency, and at this time that we're not going to follow through. And so once South Holland put up the block for the FBI to continue an investigation and left it to the FBI is that things are being handled well by South Holland, at that time they decided to move on to other cases that they may have. But I want to talk to Pam. Pam, can you go into details how Brenda Bell actually blocked Mr. Backett from leaving the nursing home to go to another nursing home for care, and she ended up blocking that to keep control of Mr. Backett?
Yes. So Eunice Backett was contacted not by Miss Bell, but by the administrator of the nursing home. They explained to Eunice that, your dad probably should go to an extended care living facility, and we can't handle him here because of his dementia situation. So Eunice has started working on locating a facility for Mr. Backett to be she was going to transfer him herself to another facility. She found a place for him to go, and she notified the nursing home that she was going to come to pick up her dad to take him to an extended care place where he could stay indefinitely. He had the medical insurance. He had, he had the means to be cared for at this place. And the place contacted, and I don't remember right now the name of the facility, but they contacted this nursing home, and I believe the person that they spoke to had to have been Brenda Bell, who blocked him from going to that facility. Because Eunice called me and she said, I had a place for my dad, but now they're saying that they don't want to accept my dad. But nonetheless, Eunice Backett showed up at that nursing home a day late. Eunice went to that nursing home, I believe it was December 21st, to pick up her father. And the day before that is the day that Mr. Backett was taken. And I could be off a day or two here in my thoughts. I don't have my notes in front of me. I could be off a day or two here. But the day that Eunice Backett was to come to get her dad, she had contacted the nursing home facility to let them know that she would be there on the following day to pick up her father. And on that following day is the day that her father was kidnapped.
What about video? Wasn't there video of that?
According to the Department of Public Health, they viewed the video. I have the full report that they completed where they observed the video of this woman escorting Mr. Backett to a waiting vehicle. Video was available. Now, I don't know if that video was preserved. I don't know if that video still exists, but we have been looking for Mr. Backett since 2023. And now it's 2026.
But now when you start a job, usually they take your picture. You have to have an ID. Certainly the nursing home has that.
Yes, the nursing home does have her photograph. But now just keep in mind that, as I told you, the many times that Eunice reached out to have a meeting with the nursing home, they denied her a meeting with them. And then they went quiet and they stopped answering her phone calls because they knew that trouble was coming on to them, because this facility allowed this to happen. It happened. There was no security. There was no questions asked. When that lady walked out of that nursing home with Mr. Backett, nobody stopped her. Nobody asked her any questions as to where he's going or, what are you doing? Because she had an ID card on her that said, I work here. So nobody asked her any questions, and she just freely walked out and passed him on, and he's been in the wind ever since.
That's a shame. We're going to take a break right now. We will be back with more of On the Case right after this.
Thank you.
Okay.
homeless. Because my little brother, in which we're doing this documentary for, Douglas Robinson, your death will not be in vain.
He was a heck of a great dude. And I love Doug. Doug loved me.
Just being around him, he had a good spirit. He was a healing person.
They are there.
Get SROs back.
When you give to the poor,
should not be forced out of their neighborhoods when it goes through a period of transformation.
Because there are too many people who are losing their homes to taxes because they can't pay a $1,000 tax bill.
We're back. I'm Chinta Strausberg, producer and host of On the Case, and my guests are Pamela Childs, and she's a retired detective from the Chicago Police Department, and Mr. Foster, Mr. Pablo Foster, who is an excellent detective. Mr. Foster, don't you think it's time to call in the FBI again to look into this, or have the statutes of limitation taken place right now?
Well, the statute of limitation hasn't exhausted itself as of today's date. We'll be willing to call in the FBI to take another fine-tooth look at this case, but it's going to take more than just the FBI. I think the only way that we're going to be able to get Mrs. Bell in front of either a judge or a court, that she has to be charged with something. And right now, at this point, South Holland Police Department has pretty much washed their hands with this case. And so the FBI would have to go back out to them, and they would have to be able to talk to this detective. And unfortunately, it just may be the same old revolving door.
Okay. And so now I have a question here. Most people who have dementia believe they don't have a problem. What can law enforcement officers do if a person with dementia refuses help?
Well, I believe that law enforcement, they have to take the necessary steps if they believe in what they are investigating to ensure that this person is in a good place. And I don't know what additional information that the South Holland Police Department transferred to the Bedford Park Police Department that went to that location and actually had contact with Mr. Backett. I don't know how much information they had. Were they told to just go locate him to see if he's okay? I mean, were they told to get him to a medical facility, to have him diagnosed? Because none of those things took place. And I'm not one to say what one law enforcement officer should do versus another, but in my opinion, I would have went a step further. I need to know, why do you have him? I need to know, well, what are we really investigating here? Why are we going to this location to see if this man is with Miss Bell? That did they know that he was reported missing from a nursing home? We have no idea what information Bedford Park received from the South Holland detective that sent them there. And actually, and in my opinion, I believe that the South Holland detective should have been willing to sit down with Mr. Backett's daughter, Eunice Backett, to look over all of the documentation that she possess that is in reference to her father's medical condition, her father being placed in the nursing home in South Holland. And what, I mean, you know, when you deal with dementia, we know that dementia patients in the early stages, they can go in and out. They can be a little lucid one day and a little off here, a little off there, you know, things that they want to overlook. But then they can go into full-blown dementia where they really have no concept of what's happening except for what they are being told to say. And Mr. Beckett seems to me, in my opinion, was told to say, if you are asked any questions, you say that you are okay. And I believe that Mr. Beckett was under the impression that, you know, he had met this woman and that he was married to her. I believe that she convinced him of that, for him to, you know, be in this situation. You know, he's 84 years old now. He was 81 years old when he was taken. And you know, and it's like, I know that his memory is deteriorating, and you know, and besides him having dementia, he has a host of other medical issues that he's dealing with that are of concern, of grave concern. And you know, and it's just so heartbreaking to be like, I'm sitting with his daughter and I'm talking to her and she's crying and she's breaking down and she's telling me all of these things that's worrying her about her father. And you know, and she's wondering, well, is he getting medicine for his heart condition? Is he getting medication for his diabetes? You know, is he getting medication for the dementia? You know, she has no idea because she does not know where her father is. But to move this forward a little bit, I did reach out to the FBI and I put them in contact with Eunice, and they went to her house. The FBI spoke with Eunice, and they explained to her that as long as Mr. Beckett is saying that he's okay and that he's being taken care of, that there was nothing that they could do. The FBI didn't really get into the fact of the kidnapping. They didn't get into that. They didn't, and I don't really know why not. They didn't focus more on the kidnapping. I wasn't allowed to sit with Eunice at that meeting. They wanted to meet with her alone. But once I heard from Eunice after the meeting was over, she was extremely disappointed that the FBI had actually come out to her house and they sat and they talked to her. And then they felt like that at this point, at the point that they were at, that, you know, from the information that they had gathered from South Holland, we have no idea what the South Holland detective told the FBI. We have no, I mean, we just don't know why they curved the situation as to digging into deeper as to, well, how did Miss Bell actually come into contact to the point where you're taking this man out of a care facility that his daughter placed him in for memory care, and you just take him? You just take a family member like that?
It's astonishing. But hold your thought. We're going to take one last break. We'll be back with more of On the Case right after this.
Thank you.
The earth is in the process of transformation. A separation, such as when a cell divides. Half will remain in the third dimension, the old earth, where there is conflict and violence. The other half will ascend to the fifth dimension, the new earth, where no negativity can exist. All across the world, there are internet content creators that are sharing new information to raise your consciousness and prepare you to ascend to the new earth. Join me, Naima Latif, every Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Time, and we will introduce to you these voices of enlightenment.
Great day. It's your girl Asada here to introduce a new female solution show called Asada Says. That's right. Every month we're going to talk about everything I am, from cryptocurrency and financial security to good health and parenting strategies. Come on and talk with me every Tuesday morning from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. And let's do that thing the way Asada says it should be done. See you then. Peace, right here on the Female Solution.
All right, we're back. I'm Chinta Strausberg, producer and host of On the Case, and my guests are Pamela Childs, and she's a retired police detective for the Chicago Police Department, and Pablo Foster, one heck of a detective. Now, Mr. Foster, why can't you subpoena that nursing home and get a copy of Miss Brenda Bell's picture so we can plaster her picture all over the place? Is that possible?
That's possible, but unfortunately, when you have these employers that have these privacy policies that are put in effect, and right now we have reached out for several attorneys to see if they would be willing to represent units in this matter. But unfortunately, these attorneys are more like there's no death involved, there's no money for any parties to collect. Then what we're going to do is stand down until that happens. But I want the public to know that once Mr. Beckett family checked him into that place, Mrs. Bell had exclusive rights to all his medical history, financial history, and any other data that has to deal with Mr. Beckett. She took that information, she saw good fruit in it, and she used it illegally to take possession of him and to retain all his funds and each and everything that he owns.
And she has a driver's license with his last name in. They're not married. I don't get that at all. How could that be? How could that happen?
I don't get that at all. Yeah. That stunned me when I did the research and realized that she was able to obtain a state ID. She did try to get a driver's license based on what my sources said, but she could not pass the necessary vision. So she was denied the license. But they went on ahead and issued her an Illinois state ID. And the issue is, what information did Brenda Bell produce to the Secretary of State for them to go ahead and execute this ID for her? It opened up more windows for her to do whatever she needs to do.
And when did she do this? What year was it?
Well, it's my understanding this happened about a year and a half ago when she was able to get that Illinois state ID.
And what about his checks? Have you tried to stop those checks from coming? His pension checks?
Yes, ma'am. We sent a letter.
Wait, Mr. Foster's talking.
I'm sorry.
Pablo?
Yeah, go ahead, Pam. You can answer that.
Okay.
Eunice, I helped her write a letter to the Cook County Pension Board explaining everything that has happened with her dad. And she had to submit his medical history, his medical diagnosis from the hospital in Crown Point, in Indiana. She submitted a copy of the police reports that had been made. And and in the letter described that her father had been taken from this nursing home facility and that he was being financially exploited. Eunice was keeping up with her father's credit history, okay? And in his history, this is a man that before he ever entered this nursing home facility, he had no bad debt. He had no credit debt. Everything he had was paid for. He was living a great life. And once Eunice was getting the feedback from the credit reporting agencies of debt with Citibank, debt with Kohl's department store, debt with various other facilities, that this lady was financially exploiting Mr. Backett. And one of the things through one of my sources, and as well as Investigator Foster's sources, we discovered that Brenda Bell had rented an apartment in Justice, Illinois. And this apartment was in Oliver Backett's name. There was a judgment that had been filed against him because of non-payment of rent. So we got the court date, and I personally went to that court date because Eunice, health-wise, wasn't able to go. And I went to that court. I appeared in court on behalf of her. And I spoke to the judge when they called his name, because there's a $12,000 judgment against Mr. Backett for an apartment that was rented in Justice, Illinois. And the judge listened to what I had to say, and I explained that Mr. Backett was taken from a nursing home facility by this woman, and that is where this debt is coming from. They were evicted from that apartment complex in Justice. So that led me to the Justice Police Department with Eunice Backett. And at the Justice Police Department, we obtained a police report of financial exploitation of the elderly. And so we got the police report. I went over to the apartment complex. They gave me a copy of the lease. They gave me a copy of a form that was mailed out to Mr. Backett's condo, where they listed him as a renter at his own condominium that he owns. I have that document in my possession. Mm-hmm. And well, that document, yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
We are out of time, but I am very grateful for you to be on the case. And I do hope somehow you can get a picture of Brenda Bell from that nursing home, because it'll be easier to find her if people know what she looks like. So yes. I'm hoping that you can do that. And thank you so much for being on the case, Pamela Childs, Pablo Foster. Thank you so much. And I hope and pray that you find Mr. Oliver Backett.
Thank you for having us today. And we hope that you will have us back so yes. that we can do a follow-up as to other things that have happened in the search for Oliver Backett.
That'll be part 2. Thank you so much. See you next Friday.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiyabonga. Senegal, jareh. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.